Good afternoon. In this video, I wanted to briefly look at, again, comment on the issue of Robert Baker and his defense of slavery, the issue that is this hypersensitivity towards the South, this cultural issue, the Southern culture nonsense. He's got the same view of Brian Dengley has with his culture and this ancestor worship, this great-great-grandfather stuff. They're all involved in that. It's bizarre. But I'm going to link it to his Confederate page. And I don't know if he wrote these articles or if his great-grandfather wrote these articles. It is not very clear. I know he posted. He's got here an article. So I don't know if he's writing his articles, but he's got one in here, the spiritual war between North and South, and trying to say that the North was all pagan, and didn't read the Bible correctly, and the South, they were Bible believers and they read the Bible correctly. And so you can read it for yourself, where these guys try to change history and try to justify slavery. And that's the difference between the 1830s and 40s and 50s in the South as opposed to 1780s, 90s, and 1800, where they saw slavery as a definite evil that had to be taken care of and ended. And they changed it, and they started rejecting the Declaration of Independence. That's why Lincoln got involved, because he saw the issue of Declaration of Independence was being rejected. And they were trying to make it was just the Declaration of Independence wasn't for men. The universal doctrine was only for white men. And you still hear that nonsense. But read the article for yourself. And I'm not sure if he wrote this article or if his great-grandfather wrote the article. But you see where he's counting the issue of 1 Timothy 6, 1 through 5. It's the same thing he's talking about in this recent video. See, you got this thing here, the abolitionists again and stuff. So, look, the idea is that people have to be, if you want to find what a guy thinks, read what he writes. And this thing is so embedded in him, just like Brian Dengler is so embedded with that German nonsense. This thing with his Confederacy is so embedded, this guy can't break loose from it. It's a virus. And he wants to make it like the North was all pagan, like majority Christians. The Bible, the Christian revival didn't happen. So it happened after the Civil War, when the South became known as the Bible Belt. That was after the Civil War. Christianity was essentially very well established on both sides, North and South. And slavery issues separated both of them, both the issues. And it was a difficult issue for both people. And Northerners understood that Southerners were born. Lincoln said this: we understand the fact you're born into the situation. And, you inherit the slaves, and it's like, what are you going to do? You're responsible for them. So it was a big problem. It wasn't a thing like, oh, you're evil because you have slaves. It was an issue with, look, but when you try to justify it and rationalize it and spread it, that was a whole different issue. That's when things really said, no, that's where it has to end, because they would think about spreading slavery into Cuba and South America. The Confederacy will slavery into the Constitution. That's what, this guy doesn't, he doesn't want to tell you about that. Negro slavery was written into the Confederate Constitution. So they rewrite history. And, but when you look at Lincoln's writings, you see, look, the Northerners understood, most Northerners understood that this is a great problem. But the abolitionists, of course, saw this as an evil had been ended, and unfortunately, it took a war to do it. Even when Lincoln tried to border states, Lincoln actually offered money to pay for, reimburse the slave owners for the slaves. They refused. They got to look at that. It's a way of life. We're not giving them up. That's how insane it became. So the fact of the matter is, read the article, see what he says, see what he's talking about, see what's driving this guy. And until you read what these guys say, get his booklets. I tell you, get his booklets. You read what he says about that. Like the Sinner's Prayer is very good book. His book against the Sinner's Prayer is very good. But then he's got another book, calling upon the name of the Lord, which is, ludicrous. It's idiotic. It's like a coterminous. It's like, well, we mean the same thing. And that's when Brian Dangle went after. And he says, calling upon the name of the Lord is the same as believing. It's not. But read for yourself, people. Read what he says. And, make your own decisions. And see what he's really teaching. And don't let his gregarious, golly gee, no, don't be deceived by that. Read his article on interracial marriage where he says you should pray for a woman, a wife for your own race. At the end of it, in my opinion, he tries to, like a politician, tries to, cover himself. From the Bible, he got his idea. He says, "I hope you pray for." Read it. Read for yourself, and then decide, where this guy is coming from. So, but I'm going to keep when he putting his nonsense up. I didn't see any replies from him. I put a bunch of comments on that video, and I don't know if he deleted them. Funny that he actually took comments, which is good. But we'll see. We'll see what he says. But this guy has an arrogance problem. See, the neo-Confederate thing is a virus. Just like the Brian Dengler thing he's got with his old heritage. It's an idea. Well, we know the real history. We're really studying the truth. Grant had his slaves in the White House when slavery was outlawed in 1865. Where do you get this nonsense from? So read it for yourself, people. Make your own decisions. But I'm not going to stop looking at these guys. Now he's changing the King James Bible on. Gene Kim, same thing. Look at all his videos and the sensational stuff he's talking about. It's like, really bizarre. But, oh no, he's a great Bible teacher. This guy, and all I can do is criticize. Now, I'm going to correct these guys and point out where these guys are wrong. Because obviously, and same thing I'm going after these new IFB guys, But the fact, because these are King James guys. And they're twisting and distorting the King James Bible. And the people have to see that. People have to open up and say, oh man, yeah. But they're very clever. They're doing subtly. And a lot of them doing, the old fire and brimstone like Stephen Anderson, hitting, pounding his table, and they all get up there doing, they're all playing the same act now. And the funny thing is, Stephen Anderson was attacking Billy Sunday for being using our theater. Using a lot of, he was too much theater. Are you kidding this guy? Anderson jumps up on this pulpit. And he's talking about Billy Sunday. So, and all these guys now, they want to raise their voices and pound the thing, So then you've got, old Breaker, with his thing in the background that's going up there, and, I just want to love everybody, I never say anything mean, I'm just going to lie to you. And of course, now we get the new Jim and Tammy Baker show going on now with Brian Dengler. He's going to show you. He's going to tell you how to live healthy. So not go to doctors, So don't stop here and put this up. Amen. Thank you.